Set Up for Success Back to School Stores Made Simple. I'm Ryan. I'm part of the marketing team here. And then we also have Chris and Elizabeth with us today. So, to get started, just a little bit of housekeeping, kind of take you through the agenda of what we're going to do today. Chris is going to talk to you about some Chipley best practices in action when you're building your back to school stores. And then I'm going to take you through kind of how to boost sales just by broadening your audience and then how you can actually promote your stores once they're built. And then Elizabeth is going to kind of wrap things up with talking about re-engaging past customers and acquiring new ones. Feel free to drop questions into the chat throughout the presentation. If we catch them, we'll answer them on the fly as we can. And then anything we don't get to during the presentation, we'll kind of wrap up with a Q&A at the end. So you'll have some time for questions there as well. And then we're going to send a follow-up email that's going to include this deck, and then it'll also have a few additional resources. So if you miss something, don't worry, we are going to send this to you afterwards, so you'll have access to it all. And with that being said, Chris is going to get us started.
So I have two stores that I'm going to show you guys. One is a back to school store, and another one is also a uniform store too as well, because fall sports kind of go hand in hand with the back to school season. So just some things to do for both types of stores. So let me share my screen. All right. So this right here is a sample store that I created, pretty much showcasing the kind of creative limits that you can go to kind of help make your store stand out more and to just kind of impress your customers and kind of just go the extra length to make your fall stores more of a success. So this is just a fake store that I created. The first thing I want to touch on, we'll kind of start from the top here, is slide images. Now I know that most of you are probably utilizing slide images. Chipley has tons of them too as well. You can also create your own, which is what I did here, which we'll kind of touch on too when Ryan kind of speaks upon some of the tools that you can use for free to create certain things. And one thing too that I did is I just kind of put in some custom text here, and I didn't think too hard on this. I had ChatGPT create this and just kind of small little things that you can kind of do to just give your stores a little bit more of a personal touch. So just getting into like the actual products and everything. So we have a bundle here. We have tools of the trade, which are some promo products. Um, the apparel, and then there's also this um, Classroom Commanders teacher ready gear. So the main thing that I kind of want to highlight here is just some different ways that you can go about making your store kind of flow and just make it appear a little bit nicer than normal. The one thing that I think is huge currently right now is giving your customers savings, whether you're offering them promo codes, e-certificates, or in this case, I put together a bundle of three products. It's actually a little bit more with the group products features. When you're using um, packages, you can make your customers kind of choose which product that they want to get. So inside of here, I have them choosing between a backpack or a water bottle. This is just an example of different ways that you can provide your customers value by combining products and offering them a discount. I feel like any way to get your customers a discount currently is just going to increase the average cart total and also have them coming back to you time and time again because of just the state of everything in the world right now. So tools of the trade, offering promo products on your stores. Ryan will kind of touch on this a little bit here, but just kind of making sure that you hit all of your target audiences, whether apparel is always good, but giving your customers just some extra stuff that they can use to shop for, whether it's a backpack, a blanket, will also help increase your average cart totals too. The one thing that I want to touch on for the apparel is the group products. So the one thing that I've done for all this, if you really want to just make your store kind of glow just a little bit, is I've combined all the like products on here. So if I go into like this product here, um, I combine the youth, the men's, and the women's. Um, so that way it doesn't necessarily, you don't have like your customers scrolling through tons of products. It kind of shortens that down and then they can click in it and choose which one that they want. The nice thing too is if you do this on one of your stores, you can copy it and it will keep all that information. You can switch out the colors for a different store. And kind of copy and repeat stores too as well. So, because I know sometimes you want to save time and just throwing products in your store is huge. So if you do this once, copy it, do it over and over again. Um, Lastly, hitting all audiences of your store is something kind of we've been talking about here at the Chipley marketing team is just making sure that you're providing value for all of the different customers that could be shopping. So for instance, for this example is teachers. So I was talking with Craig today and he said that he's seeing tons of stores where they're doing apparel for the main group of whoever you're doing your store for, but also giving your teachers or coaches. Do I remember the password? I do not. Um, Providing value. But with this, oh, it's just teacher. Jeez. Um, he said he's seeing tons of them where they're password protecting the teacher's apparel or the coach's apparel and giving them a little bit more of a discount. So that way it's on the main store, and so that way you're not running two stores, and not making two stores. Kind of lost my train of thought there, but tons of stuff that you can do. And if you guys do have questions with that, make sure you're reaching out to the team because they will help you kind of set this up, and kind of talk with you to kind of streamline your back to school stores. Other than that, it's kind of like the same thing, but just making sure that you guys are getting on top of it because the back to school season is here. Um, cool. So the other thing that I want to talk about is uniforms and doing those on web stores. So if you're not doing uniforms on a web store, you 100% should be doing it. It will not only make your life easier, but it'll also make your league organizer or whoever you're working with easier too as well. Um, this is a store, whoops. This is a store that we like to show here at Chipley because it really shows how far you can go with doing uniforms and offering apparel too on the same store. So each team here has their own package. And when you go to build this package, um, they're forced to get everything inside of here. So they're getting a jersey, it looks like a sublimated uh, warm-up shirt, some extra shirts and shorts. The main thing here is utilizing exclusive group drop downs. So when the customers are in here choosing their names or specifically their numbers, when a number is chosen from here, it will automatically be removed from this list. So this is specifically helpful for not only you, but also the organizer because they can log into their stores, see who's placed orders, who has chosen their numbers, and they can go and yell at whoever hasn't placed an order and said, "Hey, what's going on, guys? Like, let's get the ball going." So this is huge, and a lot of this is setting things back up on the back end with all the different processes and making sure everything kind of flows that way. Um, the other main thing is offering spirit wear too as well, because if the mom is on here or the dad or the family members are on here placing orders, they're not only going to go in and get the uniform, but they're also going to go and get extra stuff, because they know that their kids are going to lose some socks or they're going to lose their shirts, so they're going to buy extras. But then they're also going to get themselves something too to wear at the games. So combining all of that, packaging that up, and providing that to your customers, if you're not already doing it, will have your customers singing your praises and spreading your name around the community and also having them coming back time and time again. So, um, the last thing that I just want to quickly show too, if you're not using this, for um, back to school stores or uniforms, is the additional information fields. Because when the customers are checking out here, they're forced to choose from one of their teams here. And then when you go to actually produce the items and package them, you can break it down by team. So you get a box that goes to the girls 10, a box that goes to the girls 11 gold, so on and so forth. So that is a lot of information, but um, just want to get that in your guys' face for the back to school time. And also, if you do have questions or you want like a full breakdown of like how this works or anything, make sure you are reaching out to our service team because they will help you with all that. So,
All right. Hopefully you guys can see my screen again. Something I forgot to mention earlier is my internet has been a little wonky this morning. So if something happens, we've got a backup plan and I'll be back ASAP. So, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about boosting your sales by including or expanding your audience in your stores, kind of like Chris touched on a little bit, and also the product selection. So make sure that when you are building these stores, you're not just thinking of students, you're also thinking of parents and teachers and staff. Chris, the way he set up that store, it was really nice because there was a section that was password protected for the teachers. You'll kind of notice that the products in that section were geared towards teachers. So it was more polos. You don't see a lot of teenagers picking a polo, but the teachers will because they can wear it, business casual. It fits their dress code. They can wear that throughout the year. There was also a bag. I don't know if you noticed, it was like a messenger bag. Like your kids probably aren't going to pick a messenger bag, but that's perfect for a teacher. They can fit, their Chromebook and their lesson planners and all that down in that. And just some other items that teachers might really appreciate. And then, of course, for your parents, making sure that they can wear their school pride. All my stepdaughter all the time asks me where my Bismarck hoodie is because they don't do school stores and I only have one hoodie. So every time I go to her game or a school event, she expects me and her dad to be decked out in her Bismarck Indians gear. And we don't always have the option because we don't have a school store like this. So make sure that you've got that spirit wear available for the parents because they will buy it. Chipley has found that stores with at least 35 products perform the best. So anything less than that, you're missing out on sales. So utilize our templates to add those items and don't forget the promo items. We do, if you're kind of just getting your feet wet with promo items, there is a Sanmar accessory store template that you can utilize. It's got a lot of headwear on there, but it does have bags and blankets as well, which as you can see, we'll talk about in just a second. Those are two of the top sellers for the education market. So you can utilize that template to kind of get started. Another thing, when you are adding promo products to your store, just kind of keep in mind they differ slightly from apparel. There's usually going to be a minimum quantity order, so make sure that you're aware of that and you're having those conversations with your organizations to make sure that they can either purchase those items or that you can purchase them and hold on to them and utilize them later. Just keep that kind of in mind when you're dealing with promo products. Just some quick tips or some facts about the promo market and education. It is the #1 market for promo sales. A couple years ago, it made up 13.1% of total sales, which equals about $3.4 billion. So you're really missing out on sales if you're not including those promo products in your stores. #1 thing that people like to buy in the education market is bags, book bags, backpacks, messenger bags, those sorts of things. And then other top sellers are blankets and towels, lanyards. Lanyards don't even have to be decorated. I mean, a lot of schools utilize name tags and identification ID tags, so they have to have those lanyards, badges, and then, of course, calendars, because everybody needs a school calendar with all of the school functions on it. And then once you have your store nice and built, you've got your promo products added, you have all your categories and packages made. The next thing that you need to do is promote your stores. Okay, so don't just launch your store and let it sit. Make sure that you're helping your organizations promote their stores. You can use tools like Canva to create some templates that you can easily and quickly change up for each individual store that you're doing and then send it out to your organizations. So this is one that we have. It is a free template. So you don't have to pay for Canva to be able to utilize this one. And you'll see that we've just switched out the colors and the mascot for each one. So it's as simple as changing out your colors, switching the mascot, and maybe changing some words. And you don't even have to think hard on those words either. You can use ChatGPT for that. It's so simple. Once you've got your first one done, then the ones after that are going to take no time afterwards. So that's a great free tool that you can use. And then, like I said, also ChatGPT, utilize it to help you come up with the words. Don't spend a lot of time, racking your brain trying to come up with something catchy. Then the other thing is we created a one pager that you can utilize to send to your customers. So anytime you launch a store, just send this out to them and it's going to talk to them about 5 steps that they can do to help promote their stores. So they can get social, they can build the buzz, show off the gear with some different mock-ups and stuff, spread the word by email, text, group messages. If schools use Remind 101 a lot, it's a really simple way for them to send out a link to a school store to parents and students and staff. And then, of course, finish strong, making sure that they are reaching out to their customers and organizations right before the store closes, giving them a heads up saying, hey, you only got 24 hours left to order, that sort of thing. And again, this is going to be available for download for you guys to keep and just send out to your organizations as you build and launch their stores. And then finally, I wanted to talk to you guys. This is a shameless plug, but I want you guys to subscribe to our blog because next week we're going to be launching a post that's all about promoting your stores. So it's going to have all of this information that I just shared and a lot of other tips and tricks and then actionable insights. So it's going to have some Canva templates in there that you can use. It's going to have some ChatGPT prompts that you can use to get the messaging that you needed. So it'll have actual tools that you can take immediately from that blog post and put them into action.
Ryan, I see there's a question using the one sheet if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. So someone asked, are we free to rebrand your content with our own branding when we share it with customers? Yes, absolutely. So we try to leave space for you if you just want to drop your logo on there. But if you need something that's, maybe it's just done in grays, it's not done in red and black or something like that, like reach out to us. We're always more than happy to help you get what you need as far as marketing and promoting your stores. All right, Elizabeth, that's all you.
Thank you. Yeah, so now that you have some best practices on building and promoting your stores, obviously you need those customers. And it's a lot easier to re-engage a customer who's already worked with you and had a great experience than it is to reach new customers. So you want to make sure that you're putting in the same amount of effort to make sure, especially seasonal customers, that you're reaching out to them early and often. And kind of a benchmark, it typically takes about 2 to 5 touch points to re-engage a previous customer if they're not actively working with you right now. So a few ideas of how you can diversify those touch points. You could send out a marketing email, which is like a one-to-many email, just maybe saying what's new at the shop, reminding people that it's time to start their seasonal stores again. You can share product spotlights like on social media, for instance, just sharing some of the top sellers from last year or any new products that you are excited to sell this year. Making sure that you do have some of that personalized outreach. So following up on your more one-to-many emails with a one-to-one where you're, talking specifically about your relationship with them, maybe sharing some insights you had from their store last year, even duplicating their store and getting it started so they can see what it looks like for this year. And then, reaching people where they already are. So if you know your customers, if they're on their Instagram all the time and they don't look at their email, feel free to DM them and just say like, oh, hey, I sent you an email, but would love to, start talking about this again. Um, cool. So maybe we could go to the next slide. Um, and when you're reaching out, you want to make sure that you're not just asking for something from your customers, but you're actually providing them with value as well. So some ways to get people really engaged is to create some sort of urgency. So maybe you're offering them a special discount or a special promo code that their audience can use, but that expires on a limited date, or you'll only offer it if they open their store by a certain date or something like that. You can share your learning. So, for example, some of those resources that Ryan spoke to, you could definitely pull those off. Feel free to rebrand them, make them your own. Or just, sharing things that you've seen over the year, like, oh, this new hat is really a bestseller, or I noticed last time your store, people were really, into the whatever into the certain products. So just making sure that you're sharing kind of some of the things that you already know about them and about the industry. Um, and you can also ask them what they learned. Did they have any anecdotal feedback from people about how the web store was set up or the products they like the best, and making sure that that's reflected in this year's store. Also creating some FOMO, fear of missing out, sharing other customer stores or other inspiration that you're excited about, making them feel like, oh, wow, everybody else is doing this. I guess it's that time of year again. And then building excitement. So, like I said, you could duplicate their store from last year and then add some new things to make them feel like it's new and improved. So maybe it's updating that image at the top of the website, or it's adding a few new products so it feels fresh, or using some of those new Chipley features that were recently introduced that you wouldn't have had last year, like the group products feature that Chris showed earlier. And then you can always use your current customers to help expand your business as well. So, don't be afraid to ask for an intro. If, for instance, you're working with the volleyball coach, have them introduce you to the basketball coach, or have them, introduce you to the school's administrative assistant and see, does she have a list of all of the different clubs, and the people who run them, so that you could get in touch with those people as well. And in our next slide, we'll give you some ideas of the types of different organizations that you could expand to if you're already anchored in a school. Creating some sort of a referral program or process. So, that could look like giving someone a discount if they get you a new customer, giving them a gift, or it could be as simple as just sending them, a handwritten thank you note or something, just so that they feel appreciated and know that, you really value their word of mouth and expanding your business. And then, get in on the action. Go to different community events, go to public games or pep rallies. You could go to the farmers market or different fundraisers around town, just to see, meet new people in a place where other people already know you and can sing your praises. And if you have the space and the means, you can also host your own event. So, giving people tours of your space, or having something as simple as coffee and donuts or a pizza party, just to, welcome everyone back and get the season started off right. And then here are a bunch of different organizations that you could maybe look at if you haven't already. I'm sure you're thinking about the school sports teams, but maybe, the robotics team needs some gear, or maybe math team. Student council is a great one because, they're continuously hosting events and fundraisers and things like that. And then also all of these national organizations that will have probably a local chapter in your own community. So, National Honor Society or Future Business Leaders. So there are a bunch of different routes that if you already have an in to a certain school, the possibilities are endless of how you can expand that customer. And that's all I have.
Cool. So now we're going to kind of open it up to questions. We've had a couple already. Someone asked how to subscribe to the blog. If you just go to the Chipley website, it's under resources and blog. On that home page there of the blog, you can scroll to the bottom and there's a place where you can enter your email. You just subscribe, and then once a week you'll get the email. It's usually on Thursday morning. It tells you, hey, we've posted a new blog. You can also join the Chipley community. We have a QR code here that you can use to join, or the Chipley Collective, I'm sorry. But this is a great place to keep the conversation going. This is kind of where we hand the reins over to you guys and kind of let you drive the conversations. It's a great place for you to kind of bounce ideas and questions off of other Chipley users. Team Chipley is a great resource, but sometimes you just need somebody who's kind of in the thick of things with you to give you some ideas and feedback, and this is a great place for that. And then finally, follow us on social. We're active on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We try to put out a lot of great content there. And then anything that you see on our social that you want to steal and use for your own, you are more than welcome to. And like I said, you can either just steal it straight from social, or if there's something that you need some help with creating for yourself to give to your customers, please, by all means, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you. We do put some of the stuff that we think works really well for like organization facing posts. We put it on the website under the sales and marketing tools page, unbranded. So if you want to go steal the stuff from there, it's already in the correct size and format. And it doesn't have any Chipley branding on it at all. So you can just drop your logo on it or just post it as is. And we'll continue to do that as we continue to post on our social. So the idea is to just help you make it really easy to get your stores out there. And, hopefully we're able to help a little bit. So if you have any questions, we've got some here. What are best practices around youth sizing discrepancies? We have a lot of parents that have trouble sizing their kids, and we accommodate reorders and redos. That's a great question, Chris.
Yeah, I wish Brian Burghardt was here to answer that question because I think you'd have some good insights on it. I know that they will host events for them, or not, I don't know if it's events, but they will offer that they can come into their store and get the sizing that they can see, or that they can try on the sizing to see if it will fit. Um, I'll talk with the team to see if they have any good answers for that. You might also too want to post that in the Chiplet Collective to see if any other team dealer on this call has any insight on that. But I'll try to get you an answer though.
The other thing too is like utilizing the vendors as well. Like I know Sanmar has sizing charts, and of course parents don't always view those. But they're there for you to download, and it can be helpful if you present. Those can be another thing that you present to your organization as well, when you're creating the store too. That was another thing I was going to mention earlier, and I forgot, is like if you go to our integration and automation page on the website too, it shows you which vendors we're integrated with, as far as like when you're posting stuff on our putting products on the stores. That'll help you with like inventory and things like that. And then you can go to those vendors' websites as well and pull those tools and resources that they have to hopefully try and make your job a little bit easier. And then will this video be available for viewing later? Yes. Chris puts all of our webinars on YouTube, so follow us, and it will be there. And then, like I said, we are also going to send out that follow-up email so that you have all those resources as well.
Look, a question around best practices for creating the bundles. Chris, do you have
Yeah.
thoughts on?
I was actually, when I saw this question, I started thinking too of something else. Specifically for the bundles outside of uniforms. I know a lot of you are probably stocking products that you keep, that you probably use for your web stores. I think that would be just a random thought that I had, something that you could do to kind of help push those products more. But there's tons of different ways that you can go about using uniforms, and it all just depends on what specifically you're trying to do. I would say for uniforms in particular, using exclusive group drop-down lists for the options for the names and numbers is huge. Also, limiting the product quantity to only be one instead of having it be 1 through 100, specifically if you are hiding the pricing. So that way you're not having someone going and ordering 5 or 6 of the products when they should only be getting one, is also a big best practice. But for if you have like specific questions on like what you should be doing for like an organization that's come to you that you want to try setting this up for, you can ask it here or ask the Team Chipley too as well.
We have another one here that says there's a lot of talk about pop-up stores. What is the normal time frame to leave a store open? I deal more with corporate clients who want to leave the store open. Is that a bad idea? I don't think that leaving the store open all year round is a bad idea. There are some advantages to doing the pop-up stores that has a closing date. Elizabeth and I talked a little bit about this, like creating a sense of urgency. It can help drive sales if you have that closing date. It's also a lot of times easier to hit those MOQs with those promo products if you have a specified time frame, because you're not doing one-offs at that point. So if you have a mug that you need to order at least 24 pieces of, you're more likely to hit that MOQ with that shorter time frame. I think that's another great question though to hit in the community or the collective as well, because then you can, I mean, I can give you all the advice coming from our side of things, but I think that's a great thing to get some feedback from some of your peers as well. But as far as like a time frame, you're going to want to kind of work backwards from when your customer wants the products to be delivered. So make sure you know when their in-hands date is, and then keep in mind what the production time is going to be, and then give the store, I would say, at least 2 weeks to be open. Longer than that's not really going to have that sense of urgency. But I think 2 weeks is about a good time, but make sure as far as your open and close dates, you're working on when they need to have those products delivered.
And I was just going to add to what you said earlier about having that sense of urgency. You know, if you do have a 24/7 open, 365 store, you could still create that urgency by doing things like promo codes or discounts that have a certain deadline so that you're still kind of pushing people to press buy and not just be like, oh, I'll get that later.
We have another one that says we organize orders as bulk pickups for our customers, and sometimes orders seem to be lost once the schools start passing out orders. What are best practices on having a trackable process to make sure everything is leaving our hands accurately? And I feel like Chris has something to say here, but I just wanted to see if this person is using our sorting and packing lists.
Yeah, that was gonna be what I was gonna say. If you're not using our sorting and packing list, and this goes for anyone here, I 100% suggest that you start specifically for this back to school time and doing uniforms. It's going to make your guys' life so much easier. We make everyone here at Chipley learn it, and they will sort orders, and it literally takes 10 seconds for them to learn. In particular for this question, if you're just giving a box of the products to the customer and you're not sorting it, you can even give them the sorting lists and packing slips, and tell them how it works, because it is very simple for them to do. And that should help. Otherwise, with the sorting lists and packing slips, you may not be sorting the products because it takes a lot of time. This will cut that time down, and you'll be able to deliver the products to the group saying, hey, everything's here because we triple checked it and made sure everything's broken down for you guys. So.
And it makes it a lot easier for your organization. This is one of the things everybody who gets hired on at Chipley, we all have to do it. Like, even though we're in the marketing department, like Elizabeth and I both did it, we both helped sort. And coming from in a past life, I was a teacher and a coach. So if someone that I had ordered uniforms and spirit wear from would have handed me a box with these packages already sorted, I would have like kissed the ground they walked on, because literally all they have to do is pick that package out. It has the person's name and you hand it to them. It's extremely simple. It's so easy, and it takes care of all that. Well, we didn't get this one, or this person didn't get their stuff, and you can say you absolutely did, because here are the packaging lists and the sorting lists, and we got them all for you. So it's going to cut down on that a lot. And I think Carl Burghardt has said that this is the most underutilized Shipley tool. And he says it's a shame because it can help make your fulfillment and delivery so much more efficient and streamlined. So absolutely take advantage of those sorting and packing lists. Do you have a video showing how to use the sorting and packing list?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna get it to send to this person, but my computer's freaking out. I'll add that in the follow-up for this
Follow-up
because
email.
I feel like it's a big talked about thing. So
And as always, like we'll send that video too. But if you have any questions about it, like reach out to Team Shipley because, like we said, all of us have been taught how to do it. So we can definitely help you start utilizing that.
it's very simple.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. Again, if you have more questions that come up after this, you are more than welcome to reach out to us, to Team Shipley, join the collective, post your questions there. We just want to partner with you guys to try and make your lives as easy as possible, especially as you're going into this fall season, because we know it's going to get a little hectic for you guys. We're here to make it easy. So reach out, utilize the resources that we offer you guys, and let us know if you need anything else. Thank you so much for joining us today.
See you, everyone.